Hey guys, and welcome on into another episode of Getting Wild and Flying High, free NHL and MLB picks. I'm Terry, ready to break down today's slate, but we'll start the show as we usually do, and that is taking a look at what happened yesterday in the NHL, starting with the first game, the New Jersey Devils and the Carolina Hurricanes. I was on New Jersey, one of my premium plays yesterday, but Carolina controlled that game from start to finish. The Hurricanes were the better team, and that's going to happen. Um, Most teams aren't going to win all four games in a series. So Devils start down 0-1, but should be a motivated Devils team in tomorrow's matchup. Edmonton Oilers and the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm kind of pissed at myself that I didn't pull the trigger on Vegas money line. Just everybody was on Edmonton, and I think Vegas wins this series. I think they're the better team, um, and I was on the over 6.5. The first period finished and it was 3-2. And when you're on an over 6.5 and it's 3-2 after the first period, uh, you're pretty much destined for a win there. So that's what happened. And I had a same game parlay plus 850, which cashed, which I had the over 6.5. I had Dreisaitl goal, Bouchard point. As I said on yesterday's show, for the Edmonton Oilers, it's the Dreisaitl show. Bouchard is getting points. McDavid's getting points. And then I had Eichel to get a point. I had Stevenson to get a point, Mark Stone to get a point, all in the same game parlay, which cash. So that was a great win for me. Got the over 6.5, which was one of my premium plays up on the site. But we'll jump into the chat here and see what's going on. If the eyes are the windows to the soul, you're not going to like the view. Wow. IceX is getting um, philosophical this morning. Tonight there will be a sacrifice. Rest in peace, stars. All right. What's up, Terry? I smashed a like. Thank you, Richie. You always do. And my best bet's not typed in for today, but Richie's is. Richie doesn't even have to tell me his best bet. I know exactly what it's going to be. It's all typed out, ready to go. And now I just have to figure out what my best bet is going to be. But I know what Richie's is, unless there's a shocking surprise. Morning, Terry. Morning, Tim. How is it going? Hey, Terry. Hey, Crystal. How are you? Let's go Canes and Vegas Gold Knights. Cash Canes and Reg -1.5. Vegas money line and alternate puck line. Boom. Great job by you, IceX. Not just in hockey, but we'll get to that later on in the show and discuss what happened with your plus 28.63 best bet. I believe it was. Vegas Golden Knight looks like a lock for this series. Rest in peace, Oilers futures. No, definitely not a lock. Um, it's just everybody seems to love this Edmonton Oilers team. And if you look at what they're doing in the playoffs right now, it's three players. It's three players. Vegas on the other side has depth. And that for me is really important, is to have scoring throughout the lineup, not just three players, which is all. And Edmonton is mostly a power play team. Um, but they'll win some games in the series. Easy Vegas cash, sweaty Canes cash. Not really sweaty. The Canes completely dominated there. Hiding his eyes. And let's go, Terry. Yes, Richie. I know exactly what your best bet is. And I'm on half of your best bet as well. But we'll jump into the first game here. Florida Panthers and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Florida, anywhere from plus 140 to plus 175. Toronto, minus 180 to minus 200. 6.5s. I do see a 7 available here. I was on the over 6.5 in game one. It finished 4-2. And now the price is less appealing to take the over 6.5 at minus 135 instead of the minus 120 I got in game one. Now, game two, it's minus 135, right around my cutoff line. But I'm not pulling the trigger here on the over. When we look at the side, um, I've been talking about people underestimating Seattle, but I myself might be kind of underestimating this Florida team. So I'm not getting to a side here. This should be a game where Toronto um, has a dominant win, a bounce back win after game one. That's what should happen, but it doesn't mean it will. And I just don't feel comfortable taking the Leafs in regulation, which would not be at a very nice price, or take them on the puck line. So ultimately, side and total, I don't have anything here. However, player props, I do have a same game parlay plus 500 in this game. Matthew Kachuk to get an assist. He has done that in 5 straight games. Unfortunately, it's minus 145 for him to get assist, so it's out of my price range. But if you do play props at that price, he has an assist in 5 straight games. Brandon Montour to get a point. Um, Carter Verhaeghe to get a point, and Morgan Riley for Toronto to get a point is plus 500. So 3 Florida players, 1 Toronto, plus 500. Morgan Riley has a point in 6 straight games for Toronto, minus 138 to get a point, out of my price range. But one bet I am sprinkling on here, Brandon Montour to get a goal is plus 450. He has a goal in 3 straight games for Florida. So that is a nice big plus price. Brandon Montour, anytime goal, plus 450 for this game. Jump into the chat. I'm cooking up a best bet to get me competitive with IceX, and it's ugly. 1 second, and I'll discuss. Following a trend, fade the road team if they win game one. Leafs -1. All right. Allow the purity of evil guide you. It's on. There you go. Fade the lines. I found value, and it's not on the side. Hopefully, it hits. I agree. Now, going to this comment here. Actually, you know what? We'll go to it when we get to the best bet segment. We'll discuss it. We'll discuss it. I think I need a break from betting. Been lucky with best bet, but with only 9 winning days in April and 1 so far in May, I'm doubting myself right now. It happens. I know it's not going to help me saying it happens, but um, sometimes taking a few days off will really help. But lately, things have not been going well for a lot of people. Speaking about picks and parlays, for an example, yesterday, there was only 2 people that had a winning, or the day before yesterday. Um, if you looked at the standings yesterday on the site, only 2 people had a winning day the day before. So things are going rough right now for a lot of people. So don't doubt yourself, Crystal. You are a great capper, and just stick with it. I believe in you. Leaf smash tonight. Very possible. Very possible. But I'm not rushing to go fade the Florida Panthers right now, to be honest. Moving on along to our second game here, Seattle Kraken and the Dallas Stars. Seattle anywhere from plus 155 to plus 183. So we have a huge difference from book to book. Dallas anywhere from minus 195 to minus 222. 5.5s right across the board here in this game. And this is a price play for me. Am I going to be shocked if I lose? Not at all. I'm prepared to lose this bet, but Seattle should not be plus 180, plus 183 against this Dallas Stars team. They should just not be. I expect a much better game from Dallas. Jake Ottinger, usually after a loss, bounces back. So I am expecting a big game from Dallas. But I have to take Seattle on the money line here. The price is just too. This is like if Dallas was facing, I don't want to say Anaheim, but this is like a price if like Dallas is facing like Detroit or something. Sorry to Detroit fans. I don't want to pick on a team, Montreal or whoever. This is like a price that they should be getting facing a team that's a bottom feeder, not this Kraken team, which is competitive in pretty much every game they play in. So this is a price play for me. I will not be shocked if I lose this play. but I'm back in the Seattle Kraken at big plus money once again. When it comes to props, Joe Pavelski, you can get at FanDuel for plus 200 to score. Um, yes, he just scored 4 goals in his first game back. So obviously he's not going to do that tonight, but plus 200 for him to score is just it's just too good for me to pass up on. So I'm taking that. Looking at Seattle, Bjorkstrand plus 100 to get a point, as a point in 4 of his last 6 games, and Gord point in 5 of his last 7 games, plus 105 to get a point. So basically, all the Seattle players are plus money to get a point. And I think people are sleeping on the Seattle team a little bit too much. That's my opinion here. But we'll jump back up here. Crystal, dang, I had an absolute slump in March. Legit only 1 to 2 winning days. The rest sucked. Yeah, it can definitely happen. Yes, I second that. Crystal, you're great. Yes, Crystal, you're great. Me and Nick just had our worst month in betting that ended a couple days ago. We had like 5 profitable days in 3 to 4 weeks. Keep your head up, Crystal. See, it's a lot of people that it's a lot of people. Break out the dark stars for May the 4th, Dallas -1. Very possible. Very possible. Thanks everyone. I really appreciate the support. I know I'll bounce back eventually. You will. You will. It sucks until it happens. For me as a streaky bettor, it's when you're in the rough streak, it really, really sucks. But um, unfortunately, that's what happens in this industry. Tonight, the home teams get right spot scenario. It won't be easy for the Leafs and the Kraken to steal coins. We'll see. After that first period, if any other player would have scored to help Pavelski out, Stars would have won. Yeah, and we saw that, and I posted on Twitter. People are going crazy about Pavelski scoring 4 goals and Draisaitl scoring 4 goals, but both players scored 4 goals, but both teams lost. So it's more important to win in the playoffs than it is to score 4 goals. But depth is really important. Yes, he'll get back on. Hint scores tonight too. I was looking at him. He just hasn't done anything the last 2 games. So I was staying off, but I will take Pavelski at plus 200. Sleeping in Seattle. People are sleeping on Seattle. Stars aren't sleeping anymore. Rest time is over. We shall see, Richie. We shall see. But that was just like the first series. Yeah. I expect a much better game from Dallas here. Will it be enough to win? We'll have to see. We'll have to see. But we'll jump into the baseball slate, and I'll bring up the stats here for the standings, and we'll just briefly go over it here. Boston, 5 wins in a row. Yankees and Tampa Bay, 2 wins in a row. Baltimore, 1 loss in a row. The Blue Jays have lost 4 in a row for the first time this year. Don't be surprised if Toronto continues to fall down the standings in the near future, and I'm not going to be surprised or alarmed whatsoever. Toronto has an extremely tough schedule coming up here where they face playoff teams for the next 6 to 8 series. So it's going to be a tough schedule, but there's no excuses. You got to get wins. And as long as they come out 500 after the schedule, after this stretch, I'll be happy with that. Going to the Central here, Minnesota, Cleveland lost 2 games in a row. Detroit, red hot Detroit, Chicago White Sox, 3 wins in a row here. Kansas City, all still below 500. Texas with the loss yesterday. The Angels, 3 wins in a row. Seattle, 3 wins in a row. Houston, still 16-15 on the year. Oakland, firmly in their last place spot, which they will be for the rest of the year. Atlanta in first place. Everybody else below them, Mets, Miami, and Philadelphia, all struggling on losing streaks. Washington has won 2 in a row. In the Central, has the magic with Pittsburgh worn off? Toronto has a series coming up against them starting tomorrow, so I will not be sad to see it happen, but Pittsburgh coming down to earth here, 3 losses in a row. However, they did face Tampa Bay, so we will see what happens. Milwaukee, Cubs, Cincinnati, and St. Louis, all 5 teams are losing right now in this division. In the West, the Dodgers, back to the Dodgers that we expect, most people expect them to be. And every other team has currently won at least one game in a row. So completely opposite of the NL Central. Bring this tab up and we'll go through game by game here. Let me bring it up so let's see. There we go. I'll go game by game here for a quick breakdown. Cubs and Washington. Cubs and Nationals. It's Patrick Corbin Day. The Cubs are the third best team against left-handed pitchers. However, the Cubs are not playing well right now. And I do see you can get them on the run line for a much better price. It was like minus 120, minus 130 earlier. You can get minus 105 at Caesars. But I think it's better just to tackle player props in this game. Dansby Swanson, Trey Mancini, and Seiya Suzuki for the Cubs. I have all 3 to get hits in a parlay here for this game. Mets and Detroit here. Do the Detroit Tigers sweep the Mets? That could happen. I'm not backing the Mets with Verlander in his first start. I'm tempted with Detroit, but I feel like the Mets are gonna they have to. They're not going to get swept by Detroit, or they're at least they're going to try their best not to. But ultimately, no picks here. Not a game I want to get to in this one. Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay. Velasquez against Eflin. Um, it's a pretty even pitching matchup, but Tampa Bay is a gigantic favorite here. And I'm ultimately staying off this game. I don't want to take Tampa Bay on the run line, but if we've seen anything this year, it probably is a Tampa Bay spot. This team is just the best team in baseball currently this year. Angels and St. Louis Cardinals. Canning against Flaherty. I want to take the over here in this game. Both teams, a pitching matchup in this game I want to take the over. But when it comes to hitting, both of these 2 teams are much better against lefties than righties. So 8.5 total. I could see it finishing with 8 or 7. I could see a 4-3 final score, and it's just not enough there for me to take the over. But that would be where I lean in this game. Baltimore and Kansas City, Orioles and Royals. For me, it's the Orioles off a loss, and now they are facing a former pitcher in Jordan Lyles, who is 0-5 in the year in 6 starts, 6.11 ERA, and Kansas City dead last against right-handed pitchers. Rodriguez on the other side, back-to-back, no earned run starts against Detroit. Detroit's better than Kansas City. Kansas City, the worst team against righties, as I said. I think this is a good spot for Baltimore to win this game by multiple runs, and that's where I'm going in this game. Minnesota and Chicago White Sox. Lopez against Giolito. We see 7.5s here, and I want the over. Yes, when looking at the 2 pitchers, Lopez and Giolito, not looking at their stats, just looking at the names, it would warrant a 7.5 here. However, both pitchers, especially Lopez, since signing his long-term deal, has been awful. Minnesota good against righties. The White Sox aren't really that good against righties, but the White Sox look like they've come out of their funk here. I still give the pitching edge to Lopez, and definitely the hitting advantage is with Minnesota, but I'm not taking the Twins at this price. Really, really interested in the over 7.5, but haven't got to anything there yet. Milwaukee and Colorado. I want to take the Brewers on the run line, but this Rockies team, when they show up, when they play a good game, they are extremely hard team to beat. The issue is you just don't know when that's going to happen, and they're just a tough team for me to get right. The Rockies, so ultimately passing here. Seattle and Oakland. I can understand why Seattle's a big favorite here, but I don't want to lay this price with them. Ultimately, a pass. Atlanta and Miami. It was originally supposed to be um, Max Fried on the mound for Atlanta, but they switched pitchers. So I was going to be on the Atlanta run line, but definitely not now with Dodd on the mound against Luzardo. But this is my premium exclusive play of the day at Picks and Parlays. My play yesterday, the LA Dodgers, was a win, walk off, bottom of the ninth win, but a win's a win. My play in this game, you can get up on the site at Picks and Parlays. The link is in the description below. Use code MLB to get 20% off on that pick. Toronto and Boston, Gosman against Bello here. The Jays are struggling, as I said on yesterday's show, and people that say that I can't be impartial. I said on yesterday's show not to bet the Blue Jays, and I told you exactly how you can make money in that game, and that was taking the over 9.5. I lean with Boston as well yesterday. Um, Now here, Gosman against Bello. I'm still not taking Toronto. I don't like what I've seen from them, but I wouldn't recommend taking Boston either. Bello, who hasn't pitched very well this year, has struggled mightily against Toronto in his three starts, 0-2 with a 7 point something ERA. I don't have the exact number written down here, but he has struggled heavily against Toronto. Toronto, a bunch of errors in yesterday's game, not like them. I expect a better performance from them here. Gosman, um, except that Houston start where he gave up 7 earned runs, the Detroit game, he gave up 3 earned runs. Every other start, nothing. Hasn't given up anything. Has a 4.42, I believe, ERA career against Boston in Fenway Park. Um, I don't think he gets slammed, but I think he gives up enough runs. I think Toronto's going to score enough runs against Bello. Give me the over 8.5 here. Um, I get the run moving down to an 8.5 from a 9.5 with Gosman on the mound, but I think the Jays hit Bello. The Boston Red Sox are smashing the ball right now. They'll be able to hit Gosman too, and we'll get our over 8.5 in this game. Jumping to the comments. Dun, 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 dun. Stars get shut out. Book it. Oof. Interesting. They get a shutout or they get shut out. Best bet for Nick. Oh, yeah, that reminds me. That reminds me. I'm gonna have to figure out what my best bet's gonna be. Dallas -1.5 plus Toronto +1.5. Plus 434. Right. Holy shit. Next bet. Everyone's trying to catch up to you, Icex. That's what everyone's trying to do now. Wish I took the Mariners live last day. It would have been, yes, a very nice cash. I really like the Nationals today. Oof, interesting. Tigers win today. Mets are a fade for the time being. Jays are right there with you. Jays are right there with you. Who sucks in the afternoon for the White Sox? Is it Giolito? He is pitching, yes. Best bet for Crystal is Horner over half a hit plus Riley points. I like it. Plus Riley plus 123. All right. Terry, Red Sox rule, ironically, they cover the run line. Yeah. They get shut out. Okay. But going to the best bet segment here. Go looking at what happened yesterday. For me, Chandler Stevenson and Mark Stone both to get a point, plus 125. Um, Mark Stone got 2 points, I believe. Stevenson scored and assisted by Mark Stone, so got exactly what I needed there. Captain Brian went with New Jersey, Carolina under 6.5, Edmonton, Vegas over 5.5. A nice winner there. Nick went with St. Louis Cardinals money line, which were leading up until the ninth inning. Unfortunately, lost. IceX went with Abaez and Lindor both to get a home run at plus 28.67, and both got home runs. So a nice big win by IceX there. Richie, Heim, and Garcia over half an RBI, plus 524. Tim went with 76ers money line and Baltimore minus 5.5. Unfortunately lost. And Kev Cook went with Vegas Golden Knights money line. Now, I'm not going to name any names, but a certain person or persons, joking or not, were mentioning about IceX's best bet. And how I look at it here, I'm not going to limit anybody. IceX likes his big plus money plays. And if anyone tailed him on yesterday's show, they're up 28.67 units if they put a unit on his bet. So that is absolutely amazing. And I'm not going to try to limit anything. Put your best bet down. IceX cashed it yesterday, but has been known to put big bets like this and has known to lose a lot more than he wins. No offense to IceX, but that's just when you take big, huge plus money plays like this, you're going to lose more than you're going to win. But it's about being profitable, which he is. That's what's important here. Going to the standings for the month. Currently, IceX 1 and 2 up 26.67 units. Richie in second up 8.85 units. Captain Bry in third. I'm in fourth. Crystal in fifth. And then Kev Cook, Clear and I am, Nick and Tim, all within 2 units of being profitable here. Going to today, for me, undetermined. Undetermined for me. To be determined. Richie is going with Pavelski anytime goal, Heiskin an assist. Odds I will get. Nick is going with Dallas puck line, Toronto puck line, and Crystal is going with a mixed parlay here. Corner to get a hit, and Toronto Riley get a point. Limit, limit. Why? Well, no, it's just because like people there is no limit, but just some people might think it's unfair that he's up 28 units already on the month, but that's just how it goes. It's just how it goes. It was a great win, and that's all that really matters. Florida slash Toronto draw plus Kraken minus 1.5 plus 2400 price X. This is true, LOL. I wonder who hates me. Nobody. Well, no, I'm kidding. Nobody hates you. Nobody hates you. Nationals. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, Nationals minus 4.5. No comment. And Toronto Maple Leafs minus 2.5. Wow, Tim. Wow. I don't know what to say. So I won't say anything. That's not unfair. Yeah, I agree. Either you cash or crash. We've all been there. Yes, for sure. But I should end the show, and I guess I should figure out what I'm going to do for best bet. I don't know. I don't know. I should have prepared for this before the show. I don't know. I don't know. Today's a tough slate for me. I'm gonna go with the over in the Blue Jays game. Toronto and Boston over 8.5. I just think that's too low of a number in Fenway. Too low of a number. 8.5, and it's plus money. That is today's show. We'll go here to the comments. Best of luck, everyone. Gotta catch ice. Yes. Best of luck to everybody today. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the content, smash the like button. Appreciate all the support. And we'll be back tomorrow for another episode. Getting Wild, Flying High, free NHL and MLB picks. Best of luck, everybody.